Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Cherno. Welcome to episode 16 of game programming in no, just game programming really. So yesterday we created this awesome just amazing little tile map thing, and today we're sort of going to explore the entire map of our little creation here. So yeah, we're gonna totally move around this map, sort of. Okay, sort of. We're not gonna add key inputs just yet. I want to save that for a later episode and really explain that. But today I'm gonna talk about actually, navigating around this map and seeing if seeing if our walking, I guess, animations, all of that, actual the map moving and that animation, to see if that really works as it's intended to work. So yeah. So let's just jump into this right now. So what we've got, right, is I guess we've got like a the thing is, guys, with game programming and girls, by the way, with game programming, or with any kind of programming, everything's logical, and that's why I think personally it's not hard to teach, first of all, but second of all, it's really easy to learn if you really put your mind to it. And the way that you put your mind to it is you keep track of every variable manually, and you say, okay, y variable, what happens to the y variable? What maths is applied to it, and you guys can sort of use that to your advantage and actually figure out, okay, this happens to the y variable, and I totally get why it gets displayed the way it gets displayed, and so yeah, so a lot of this is really you just spending a bit of time with the code, just taking it out for dinner and getting to know all these variables and actually just memorizing them really, and figuring out what they do. So what I'm going to do here is walk you through how this rendering system works, first of all, so that we can know how we need to manipulate it or move it, basically. So what our goal for this episode really is to just animate the map going forward, and we want to actually loop the map as well. Okay, that's just going to be our goal. So for now, let's just talk about this rendering system real quick. I don't have a heap of time today, but I'll try to fit in as much stuff as I can. Okay, so yeah, let's just jump into it. So again, I've got nested for loops here. And what we've got is the area that's getting rendered. We know that, first of all, this y thing, and we can see it's less than height. Height is equal to 300, so clearly we're dealing with pixels here. It's just rendering pixels on the screen and being like, okay, well, let's render the appropriate colored pixels by dividing the tile things by the size of the tile, which is 16. And that's fine. But what if we actually want to move? Okay? We don't really need to move the rendering area, do we? What we should be doing really is moving the tile index, right? Because the tile index pointer, the place that we point to in our tile index, sort of shifts a little bit. Now, it doesn't shift by one tile, because otherwise we can only move from tile to tile. And I don't know, that's, if you guys want to do that, that's fine. But you'll only be able to be in the middle. Your player will only be able to be in the middle of each tile. And when you just tap the right arrow or something, or the the W key, you'll just immediately shift to the next tile to your right. We sort of want like smooth scrolling, right? So we don't just display like each tile as it is. We can sort of move like halfway through tiles, and well, you know what I mean. You'll see. So clearly, we need to move this. We need to change this x variable itself and this y variable itself to actually move it. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually create another variable. I'm just going to call it yy. And the reason I'm making this, and I'll just set that equal to y, simple as that. The reason I'm making this is because we don't really want to change this y variable, because if we do, we'll get problems, because as you can see, this for loop is running based on the value of this y variable. So make sure you just create it. I'm going to copy and paste this, honestly. And actually, you want to do this before the breaking point, okay? And actually, while we're at it, we'll just change this to XX and this to X, right? And we'll change this to YY. So we're dealing with YY here. Whoops, not here, just here. Right, and change these to XX. And over here, we'll change this to XX and YY as well. We could probably do this in pixels as well, but I'm just going to do it here for now. So what's going to happen is, if we run this, first of all, we should just get the exact same result. And we do, that's great. But what happens is if I change this just by a little bit, so I change XX to X plus like 20, what we should get is, oh, look at that, we get a shift. And we actually get positive shift. So if I move this to minus 20, then, oh, I closed it. Whoop, that didn't work. Oh, yeah, my bad. So +1 will be one tile offsetted. Should be, actually. Let me just see this on my other screen. No, it's doing it correctly. Obviously, it's not doing the X correctly because we get 0 and it breaks. But what we get here, as you can see, is if I actually just add like one tile to it, which is 16, you'll see that it's actually offsetted one tile to the left, which is awesome. Now, this isn't exactly how it's going to work, and the reason is it's sort of a problem with the actual tile index. So all we need to do is the tile index, I guess. Let's get rid of this and actually just replace these with our appropriate variables and see what we get. So if I just add something like 2 to this, what we should get, and you can see that offset right there. Now, okay, so like one of the things we need to do at this point is actually let's just try this for a second. We get this whole operation here. Let's just try and loop it, and you'll see what this means in 1 second once I explain it. Whoops. What we can actually do for the time being is stop it from breaking. So if I do something like -20, you'll see that it actually stays that way. And let me just make sure you're using XX and YY. All right. What I'm doing here is and you guys can't see this. I've sort of got a bit of a mess going on in the background. But what I'm doing here is you can see that this is like the original position of our X variable, and as I move it either to the left or to the right, it's actually looping the screen. And you guys might be wondering how that's happening, and kind of simple. Now, if we bring back here, what's going to happen is we'll actually get breaks. And the reason we're getting breaks is sort of because the area that we're deciding not to render isn't really in the correct area. So it's not exactly working correctly, but if we're not breaking, you'll see that we are actually rendering the entire screen. So we'll fix the whole like breaking later, but for now, this is how it's gonna roll. So what does this? Let me just not show the console. Okay. So what is this whole like bitwise operator here? This is a bitwise AND operator. I'm not going to get too deep into this, but essentially what's happening is it's saying that when this right over here, which is XX, the XX variable, divided by 16, when this actually becomes greater than 63, or well, technically 64, because remember, this is from 0 to 63, which is 64 values in all. When this becomes bigger than the number 63, it returns back to 0. So in other words, what we're saying is if we're trying to access tile number 64, because remember, we've got an array here that is 64 tiles wide, which means from 0 to 63 tiles wide. When it gets to the 64th tile, we'd get an array index out of bounds exception, right? Because, well, we're out of bounds. Or actually, technically what would happen is it'd go down to the second row. But what I mean is, if we try and exceed our width, there's nothing there. What this is saying is that when you get to the 64th tile, just return back to 0. Display the tile that is at index, x equals 0. Simple as that. So what you can see is if I really emphasize this by making the map a lot smaller, let's just say 8 by 8 pixels, 8 by 8 tiles. I keep saying pixels, I mean tiles. Sorry about this crash. Let's just make sure that we change this to 8 by 8 as well. And I think we terminated it. Yes, we did. What is up with this? All right. Make sure this is also 7, and this is also 7. What else have we missed? So this is what you don't want. You don't want to be able. You don't want to change like one value and have all these crashes everywhere. So that's not good. What that means is that you haven't really coded everything correctly. So we've got times 64 here, for example. It should be times 8. Easy to overlook, but it does make our program crash. So let's hopefully this will work. Yep. Now you can see that we've sort of got this recurring pattern, and the reason is it's displaying. This is like. Oh, sorry. Let me just set this back to to 0 so you guys can see exactly what's going on. What we've got here is like a pattern, and I'll try and find a good one. You know what? I'm just going to make tiles 0 equal black, just so that we have a black in the top left corner. Alright, so you can see we've got this black tile in the top left corner, and you can see that this pattern is repeating. The reason is that, again, we've made the map 8 by 8, alright? But what we've done here is we've said, again, with this bitwise operator, we've said that when we actually get to 8, set it back to 0. So what's happening is it's going, okay, this is tile number 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, we've done 0 to 7. Now the 8th tile, we're going to set back to 0. So you can see this is the same as this tile. And that's sort of how we're doing it. You can see that the same thing is happening with Y. It's going down to here, and then it's going to keep going. And it's just going to keep looping forever. Now, if we didn't do that, okay, if we didn't do that, first of all, what we get is an array index out of bounds exception. If I just wipe that out, what's going to happen is we're going to get an array index out of bounds exception, because again, it's trying to access that 8th tile, which just is not there. So that's sort of a bit how tiles really are going to work, and we'll actually have to implement a system to make sure that they don't work. And by implementing that system, we've sort of got a problem, because if we just wipe this out, it'll work for the time being. It won't even work for the time being. Yeah, it's not going to work for the time being because the problem's with the tiles, not with the actual pixels. The pixels are still on the screen. So, yeah, I mean, that's sort of how map looping, I guess, works, and how our map works. So what I can do right now is I'm really running out of time here, guys. But if I just put something like int x offset and int y offset in the parameters here, so that I can then adjust that outside of the code. Go back into game and change this to something like 0, 0. I'll actually just quickly make 2 integers, x and y. I'm really failing here. X, set them both equal to 0 as well. This is probably temporary as well. Don't need to write this down. This is just for demonstration purposes. And in the update, I just make x++ and y++. Then what you'll see here is, my bad, let's go back into the screen and quickly add x plus x offset, y plus y offset. What we'll get is we'll actually sort of traveling through this map at about 2,000 frames per second, a bit less. No, it's 2,000 frames per second. And you can see that we're actually just traveling. The screen recorder might make this look a bit laggy. It shouldn't be. What's happening is we're traveling through this map and we're never just running out of it. It's infinite because it's just playing the same tiles over and over again. So that's sort of how map looping works. We probably won't be actually using this in our actual thing. Let's just cut the Y and just have horizontal movement. This won't really be implemented in this actually, hang on. Okay, first of all, let's fix this problem real quick that we've got the thing where if we change the map size, the whole thing crashes basically. So public final int I don't know, map size. We'll just set it to 8 for now. Again, we'll change this in a second, but what should happen is, as I set this, and we'll also actually make another one really quickly called map size mask, and this will be our map size -1. So in other words, for all bit operations, because the mask is obviously from 0 to 7, which in total is 8 values. So yeah, the map size, let's just copy that, paste it into here, and then this will be our map size mask. Oops, make sure you put it into the right place. And I think that's it. No, map size needs to be here. Map size times map size. All right, so now if I do this, and then if I change the map size to something like 64, then I can launch it without needing to change it, and it won't crash. So the top left is black. So as you can see, when we reach, and this is significantly larger, but when we actually reach the little black thing, there it is, the black tile, we're back to square one. So that's a much larger map. So that's sort of how our map's gonna work. Again, we're not really going to use these bitwise operators, but that is one way to actually navigate around the map and see that we are actually indeed scrolling through our tiles very, very smoothly, which is great. One thing I want to show you guys is what happens if you don't do it as I tell you to, and actually do something like this. gonna happen is you'll actually, let's just make sure that we got our brackets in the right place. Oh, we do. All right. Add it in here. Oh, never mind. I was gonna show you guys something, but apparently it's not the right way. So yeah, but X. No, what was it? What I was going to show you guys is if you actually do this outside the box, what you'll get is this. So if we just I know an easy way to do this actually. Yeah, I'll just say quickly. Also down a little. But a common like, I guess not really a bug, but a common error that people seem to have with tiles is, what am I doing? 0. A common problem that people seem to have with okay, seriously, what's up with this? Let's set this to like 10. Common problem that people seem to have with tiles is the fact that they do this. So as you can see, we're only advancing one tile at a specific point. And it's actually it's kind of hard to see if I don't do it this way. But yeah, that's a huge problem people seem to have, where they don't actually smoothly scroll. They scroll from tile to tile, and the reason for doing that is they actually add that offset after they've already divided it by that. You want to be able to manipulate each pixel individually, not each tile individually. So huge problem. I know I've run into that problem a few times, but if you guys catch yourself failing like that, it's probably due to this. So fix that up, and what you should get is this perfectly smooth scrolling, and you'll be able to go over it you want in the map, in between tiles and all of that stuff. So yeah, anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this long episode. Guys, they're going to be much shorter from now on, okay? 5 minutes. I'm just stopping myself at 5 minutes. I don't care if I'm mid-sentence. The video is going to cut itself, and that's just going to be it, because I do not have time. So yeah, anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit the like button, give the video a favorite if you really enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next episode of glorious game programming. Later guys.